What if I told you that you could quit your job forever and live a comfortable life with just $500,000 in the bank? I know, it sounds totally made up, right? Like some kind of fantasy? Well, what we're going to talk about today is how this isn't a fantasy at all. It's actually a mathematical reality for anyone who's willing to look at money a little differently.
So let me ask you something. When you think about financial freedom, what's the number that pops into your head? For most people, it's a huge number. You hear it all the time. People think they need at least a couple million bucks to retire, maybe even 5 million. That's just the story we've all been told.
But here's the kicker. That number, that whole idea, it might be completely wrong. I mean, there are people out there right now who have more freedom than most millionaires, and they're doing it with just $500,000. The secret isn't some hot stock tip or dumb luck. It's just a simple shift in how you think, a concept that, honestly, most of us just miss. So you're probably asking, how in the world is that even possible? Well, it all boils down to some surprisingly simple math. And no, this isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about building a stable, rock-solid income stream that can last a lifetime using what you've got. Okay, let's break it down. There are basically two main paths you could take. Let's say you've got that $500,000 and you want to play it super safe, the conservative path, mostly bonds. A pretty standard 5% return gets you $25,000 a year. That's over $2,000 a month just showing up in your bank account. But if you go with a more balanced portfolio, a mix of stocks and bonds, you could be looking at something closer to an 8.5% return. Now we're talking $42,500 a year. That's over $3,500 a month.
And this is the most important part of the whole thing. This is not about saving up a big pile of money and then slowly watching it drain away. No way. With this strategy, you never even touch that original 500 grand. You're living entirely off the income it generates. Your money is literally working for you, around the clock, forever.
Okay, so making your money work for you is one half of the puzzle. But there's another half, and honestly, it's the one that really changes the game. The real secret to making this whole thing work isn't about what you earn, it's all about your spending.
This slide just nails the difference between looking rich and being rich. Society screams at us that being wealthy means having the flashy car, the giant house, but that lifestyle just traps you with massive expenses. Real wealth? That's about having low expenses, because that's what buys you the thing that actually matters, freedom and choices. And get this, it seems so small, right? But spending just 3 grand a year on stuff like daily coffees and takeout, that money just vanishes. But it has this huge hidden cost. If you had invested that same 3 grand instead at an 8% return over 30 years, it could grow to over $800,000. That's the insane power of those tiny little daily choices.
And that quote just says it all, doesn't it? Real wealth isn't about the size of your paycheck. It's about the size of the gap between what you bring in and what you spend. If your investments can cover your lifestyle, you've already won. It doesn't matter what your neighbor is buying. You've won the game.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. This all sounds great, but what about the real world? What about inflation eating up my money? What about a massive market crash that wipes me out? And those are totally fair questions, so let's just tackle them head on. Turns out this whole strategy has a safety net kind of built right in. First, to beat inflation, it's simple. You just don't spend everything your investments earn. So if your portfolio makes 8.5% one year, maybe you only take out 7%. The rest gets reinvested. That makes your original pot of money grow, which means your future income grows right along with it. And second, to survive market crashes, a diversified portfolio is like a ship that's built to handle stormy seas. The absolute key is to stay disciplined and not panic sell when things get choppy. This is all about building financial resilience. It's a massive mindset shift. You have to fight that urge for lifestyle inflation. That thing where as soon as you get a raise, you start spending more. You got to stop that. Instead, think of it this way. Every single dollar you save becomes like a tiny soldier that's going to go out and work for your freedom permanently. And hey, for a lot of us, Social Security is going to kick in down the road, which is just another layer of security, a nice extra buffer. So we've gone through the math, we've talked about the mindset, but what's this really all for? I mean, it's not really just about quitting your job. The ultimate reward, the grand prize, is something so much more valuable than money. It's about getting your time back. And that forces you to totally redefine what wealth even means. True financial freedom isn't about collecting a bunch of stuff. It's about collecting choices. It's having the power to say yes to the things that matter to you and no to the things that don't. It's about building a life based on your values, not your bills. And that's really the heart of it all. At the end of the day, you're not just escaping the 9 to 5. You are reclaiming the most precious, non-renewable resource you have, your life. The real reward is the freedom to live that life completely and authentically, on your own terms. So, you see, this whole thing isn't some far-off fantasy. It's a choice. It's a choice you can make to value your long-term freedom more than short-term stuff. The question isn't whether it's possible. It absolutely is. The real question is, what decision are you going to make today to start moving towards it? Your future self is counting on you. What are you going to choose?